everybody. Today I'm going to share with you a project called flow painting. And I feel like flow painting is the rage right now. I've just seen so many people sharing on social media about it. But if you haven't actually participated in it, now's your chance to learn and hopefully do some flow painting. This can be done with your family. It can be done with some friends and neighbors. It can be done with just you and your spouse. Also, it can be done with adults or with adults and kids. So it really is appealing to all ages. I'm gonna tell you that it is kid-friendly, but it is very messy. Kids love it, but it's messy. So no matter who's doing it, you're gonna need to do the prep work to protect your surfaces and be prepared. So I'm gonna also tell you, because of the prep work, it does take a little more time. There's gonna be the shopping and the preparing the area. Also, you're gonna have a little bit more expense in terms of all the supplies that you'll need. But I think it's really, really fun and worth it. And you're gonna have something much more special than refrigerator art to show for it. Every single person can walk away with a really pretty picture, which doesn't always happen. I'm not a painter, so I'm excited to be able to show any of my work, so to speak. So let me start with some of the supplies. Please read the write-up. It goes into so much more detail. I'm gonna go fast as I can because it's a lot to share, but please read about it. The first thing, both of the times that I flow painted, I used a canvas, 16 by 20. When I actually hosted my party, I bought mine at Hobby Lobby in packs of 2. And so here we go. This is the canvas that I used, the size. The paint that I used is acrylic paint. And I got a big variety of colors. Everybody is going to need 4 colors. And I would suggest buying extra black and white because the way that I learned, every person needs to choose at least one of those, black or white, for a contrast color with the other colors that they choose. So numbers are important. Before you buy your supplies, you need to know how many people are painting with you because you need to buy enough supplies. You're also gonna need silicone, and I honestly don't, my husband was in charge of this. I don't know where he got it, but this is what we used. You're gonna need a little bit of that, not much. I needed a bunch of cups and some popsicle sticks for stirring. You're gonna need quite a few cups depending on how many people you have. Every person probably will need about 8 to 10 cups. So I'll tell you why in a second. So those are some of the supplies that you're gonna need. You're also gonna need trash bags for the tables and the ground, tarps maybe for the ground, and then some tables. I used several 6-foot tables, depending on the people, the numbers you're gonna have. At each table, you could comfortably set up 2 people and even set up 4 people if needed. So the way that I set up the tables is I put 4 cups kind of equidistant to represent the canvas at a spot, and then put the elevated canvas on those cups, and kind of this is a space holder for this person's spot. And then I did 4 cups for the other canvas. If you're going to have 2 people, they can just both stand on the same side of the table and work that way. If you're gonna have 4 people, you would put maybe the other people facing the other direction. And so that would get your 4 canvases on the table and give everybody some leg room still. So you're gonna have those 4 cups for each canvas. That's going to be before they paint, and then after they paint, they can then lay their canvases back on there, and it's going to need quite a bit of time to dry. So that's gonna be what those 4 cups are for. Then everyone will also need 5 cups for their paint. So they're gonna all choose 4 colors of paint, and you're going to put the 4 colors, put the paint in there, and then the 5th cup can just be their water, because what they're gonna need to do is everybody's gonna need to get their 4 colors, and they're gonna go back to their station, pour in the water, and stir, stir, stir. Kind of stir, 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 then check the consistency, put more water, stir some more. Just don't ever overdo the water, but at the same time, it's going to take more water than you think. And this is by far the longest piece of the actual activity. The setup takes a while, but then this is gonna be the longest part of the actual activity. I would suggest maybe Googling so that you can really understand the texture that it needs to be, because the paint by itself is very thick. When you add the water is where you're getting it thinned out, and you do not want it to be too thin, but you do not want it to be too thick. And I think you'll understand later when I show you how you do the painting. It's got to flow, it's got to cover the canvas. So definitely really think about the consistency. I would suggest if you are hosting a flow painting party that you do a piece by yourself as practice so that you can really understand. So when that day happens, you can give everybody feedback on their consistency. Okay, so they've got their 4 colors, they've added the water, they've stirred, they've stirred, they've stirred. When they're kind of where they want to be at some point in that process, you're going to go around with the silicone. Now what my husband did was he put silicone in a cup and used a little dropper and gave every single cup 3 to 5 drops. Okay, so we've got my yellow and my green and my black and my purple. Okay, and each one of those cups is the right consistency with the silicone drops. So after that point, you are going to take your white or your black cup as your starter cup, and you are going to dump all the other colors into that one cup. So all of your paint should be in one cup, and it should all fit in one cup for the canvas that I've chosen, okay? So the other part is you are done stirring. There is no more stirring once it is in this cup, okay? You do not want to try to mix those colors together. So here we are, we've got 1 cup of paint. At this point, you are ready to actually get to work painting. What that looks like, there are a couple of ways to do it, but what that looks like is you're going to take your cup, you are going to put your canvases over, you're going to just dump it over. When you lift this and put it down, you've got it all in the middle, kind of a glob, and you're going to somehow get that paint to flow and cover the entire canvas. So this is where you see how important the consistency is. There's another technique where you could kind of do some, kind of so you have it already kind of portioned out, and then you can kind of flow from there. There's really almost no way you can screw it up. It's going to be beautiful. I used the first technique that I showed you, and this is my first piece. All right. So I don't know, I really feel like even the edges are kind of interesting to me, but yes, it's definitely well covered and the colors just kind of flow. I used the popsicle stick to kind of make sure it got on all the edges. So, and then my husband's piece, he used a variety of techniques, and his looks very similar though. A little more splattery. He used his popsicle stick to splatter some as well. So anyway, those are my pieces. I think it was very, very fun. When I hosted my family, my second flow painting party I was hosting, and it was a back to school event with my niece and my nephew. So we went from ages 6 to 66, and everybody had fun. We had bought the kids special t-shirts so that they could just live into the mess, and that protected their clothes. So I would definitely recommend that kind of a strategy. But I hope that you will consider doing this, because even though it's a little bit of work, it is such a good memory. So enjoy.